into a comfortable lead coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it in the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, when we got one car on the bottom, the 10 car.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Hello and welcome, race fans, to Talladega Super Speedway with the Real Sim Racing RSR Asphalt-Assault Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spear Designs. I am Rick Herman, up in the broadcast booth, joined by Evan Pasoko for the first time, I do believe, on Thursday nights, at least in the broadcast booth. Evan, welcome to the booth.
Thanks, Dakota. We're in for a great race tonight at Talladega Super Speedway, the 2.66-mile racetrack, 88 laps. Should be some good racing here in the RSR Asphalt-Assault Series in these Impala B-Class race cars.
Definitely, and also would like to throw a shout-out to JD Webb hanging around the production studios with John Wessling, and then you have John Wessling, like I said, pushing the buttons on the cameras. But I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and talk about last week at Richmond. The results, the 160-lap race. It was actually Bobby Terrell sneaking away with the win after starting 7th. He led a total of 24 laps. I think he beat out a few of the dominant cars, at least the dominant car, Eric Brundies, who led a total of 97 laps. He would actually start in the first position. You look at Matt Lacrosse, finished in the 3rd position after leading no laps. Pretty good run for the 21 team. Rhett McBride came home 4th, no team. He actually led 0 laps, 1.4 seconds behind the leader. Then you have Josh Cheney, who finished 1.7 seconds behind the leader, started 22nd, and had no laps led.
And in the 6th position was CJ LaVere from Fearless Racing. He started in the number 3rd position. John Abbott taking over 7th place finish. He started in 9th. Jose Gonzalez, for Fearless Racing, 8th place. So him and his teammate CJ LaVere in the top 10, along with Matt Lacrosse, who you mentioned, who did finish 3rd. Jose got 8th place. Wyatt Wolf Jr. for Wolf Motorsports taking home the 9th place position after starting back in 27th. And running out the top 10 is Clint Monahan for Hollywood Motorsports. He started 2nd.
And Clint would lead a total of 3 laps. But the big highlight, it was Stefan Marinak. I do believe he had, if I'm looking at this right, 10, maybe, yeah, at least 10 incidents, I want to say, which means he got into a little bit of trouble. I mean, it doesn't mean he was involved in 10 wrecks. He just had to hit 2 cars really hard, and that might have happened. I believe he was involved in a little bit of trouble. Finished 13th. He led a total of, I do want to say, 6 laps after starting 5th. Bad day for what was the points leader. I think he still is the points leader. And speaking of points, we talk about points. Current race standings, or point standings, going into Talladega Super Speedway. Stefan Marinak leads the way by only 1 point over Eric Brundies. His gap here kind of shrunk, and this battle has gotten much, much closer and tighter as we head into the wild card race, Talladega Super Speedway. CJ LaVere currently sitting 3rd in the point standings, 32 points out of the lead. Nick Gonzalez, who I want to say won at Chicagoland, 44 out of the lead. And then you have Matt Lacrosse, who actually has 1 pole. I do want to say 1 pole, and he actually is 48 out of the lead with 9 starts.
And in 6th place in the points, just 1 point behind Matt Lacrosse, Wyatt Wolf Jr., 49 points back off of Stefan Marinak in the lead. 7th is Bobby Terrell, 53 points back. Then we have Clint Monahan and Rhett McBride tied for the 8th. They are both 71 points behind the leader. And running up the top 10, Joey Hilton, only 86 points back.
With John Abbott, just sitting there in 11th, he's actually 88 out. He's only 2 points behind that 10th place position. So kind of a battle there for the 10th position. There is no chase. So right now is the time to go. And Eric Brundies knows that he actually capitalized on Stefan Marinak's incident last week. He had quite a few bonus points as well to add to his total points. Really helped him catch the points leader, Stefan Marinak. Had he won last week, had he gained that one more spot, I do believe he'd be the points leader heading into Talladega. He's not, though. He missed that one spot last week. You see it kind of, hurting him just a little bit, not much, though. We talk about Talladega, the comers here. According to George Wood, this is the first week of the point standings that has no really significant jump. I think they've sorted themselves out by Richmond. John Abbott did gain 3 spots in the point standings, up to 11th, only 2 out of the top 10, so you got to keep your eye on him. And Matt Lacrosse and Rhett McBride had excellent rebound finishes of 3rd and 4th at Richmond. Goers here tonight will be Glenn Campbell, who's finished 33rd and 27th in the last 2 weeks. Jimmy North, 30th place finish, puts him 3 spots lower in the standings, down to 12th. He's another one of those goers here tonight. And the professor's picks, it's Talladega. I picked the pace car to pick up a bonus point and win the race. And that is George Wood's Professor Picks here at Talladega Super Speedway.
And that's right, as you said in the point standing, Stefan Marinak only with a 1-point lead over Eric Brundys, and as you mentioned, there is no chase. And Stefan Marinak definitely helping himself out. He has 3 wins compared to Eric Brundys, only 1. So Eric Brundys seems to be the more consistent, but Stefan Marinak, those wins obviously helping him, as the average finish for the points leader is 7th, and Eric Brundys is a 6.9, so pretty even throughout the season.
And I'll tell you what, this race here tonight is sponsored by Hippie's Paint Shop. Really cool dealer. I believe you can check him out. I know they have plenty of information on him on the website, realsimracing.com. We'll forward you to an iLeagueRace.com domain. But I'll tell you what, Talladega Superspeedway track facts, capacity 175,000. It's located in Alabama, Talladega Country. It's owned by International Speedway Corporation, and the operator is also International Speedway Corporation. Broke ground on May 23rd of 1968, opened September 13th of 1969. Architect was Bill Ward and William Frantz Sr. Surface is asphalt, 2.66 miles with 4 turns, 33 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2, 32.4 in turns 3, and 32.5 in turn 4, and a 16.5 degree banking in the triangle with the 3 degrees of banking in the straightaway, I do believe. And it's just about time, I do believe it is time for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That national anthem was sung by the Cactus Cuties there. Great performance there. The Virtual Thunderbirds also fantastic flyover that you saw during the national anthem. But now we go ahead and go down trackside for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
All Alright, now making up row number 1, pole sitter, the 94 machine, Eric Brundy's on his outside, the 21 of Matt Lacrosse.
In row number 2, the number 27 of Randall Watkins, and on his outside in the 4th position, the number 11 of CJ LeVere.
Row number 3 will consist of the 47 of Eric Arnold, the Navy Nuke himself, and then on his outside, the 7 of Bobby Terrell.
Inside on row number 4 in the 7th qualifying position, the number 67 of Brian Harvey, and to his outside is the number 84 of Jimmy North.
Look at row number 5, you see the 00 of Mark Bratcher and the 50 of Bo McGuire.
In row number 6, the number 1 of Clint Monahan, and on the high side, the number 32 of Rich Jett.
Row number 7 will consist of Doug Fleming in the 28 and the 89 of Randall Halcomb.
Row number 8 is the number 33 of David Lanza and of number 43 of Doug Roth.
Row number 9 will consist of the 10 of John Abbott, the 44 of Glenn Campbell.
In row number 10, the number 15 in 19th position, Rhett McBride, and on his outside, Douglas White, and the number 12.
How about row number 11? You see that 92 machine, that's Larry King. On his outside, the 88, that is Adam Roberts.
In row number 12, the number 71 of Keith Brooks Jr. and the number 65 of Josh Cheney.
25th position, row 13, Augusto Gabaldoni, and on his outside, Frank Coons.
Row number 14 will be on the inside, the number 85 of Nathan Bowers, and on his outside, the number 81 of Stephen Almindo.
And here you see row number 15, that will be the 37 of Ben Burnett, in the number 24 of Stefan Marinak.
And row number 16, the number 14 of Jose Gonzalez, and the number 63 of Wyatt Wolf Jr.
Row number, I want to say 17, Joey Hilton, the 40 car, and Wyatt Wolf, 56 car.
Row number 18 is the number 62 of John Wilco, and on his outside, the number 98 of Stephen Herring.
See the final row, the 37th place car is John Elwer's 09 machine. He'll run up the field with nobody on his outside, and that means 37 car field, odd number of cars, and a place you need to tandem. Talladega, all about that tandem draft still, especially with these cars. I think we'll see it a lot here tonight. Definitely going to be interesting, especially the way the draft model is. To the outside's kind of been struggling. Lately we saw a little bit in practice, but it still works, so it's definitely going to be interesting. Switches fully in effect. Going to be a lot of fun here at Talladega Super Speedway with 88 laps on the board. Again, with the Hippies Paint Shop Talladega Super Speedway race with Real Sim Racing, sponsored in their Asphalt Salt Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Darren Spear Designs. Here we go as we work through turns 3 and off of 4 now. Again, the start-finish line is now way down the tri-oval, not normally where you'd see it, which is what makes Talladega Super Speedway a unique track. As you now see the pace car getting set to dive. There goes the pace car on the pit road. Eric Brundy's can lead us to the green flag anytime he chooses. It looks like he's chosen. He's on the throttle. He's away. That means the green flag is out already, and these guys are gone. How about the 27? Did not stick with him on the restart. He was not ready for that. And what's really going to hurt him now is he's going to have cars on the outside hooked up already. That's the 21 of Matt Lacrosse, the 11 of CJ LeVere, coming on that outside already hooked up. They're going to be coming pretty quickly. By the time these two on the inside get hooked up, these guys are going to be gone on the outside lane.
And CJ got to his bumper right when Eric Brundy's left on that start, so it was a great restart for the number 11 and the 21 as they passed the leaders down the backstretch, looking to go inside, and they're going to clear them as they enter turn 3.
I would say that could have been timed just a little bit better for the leader. Unfortunately, it wasn't because he now is not the leader. And there goes Lacrosse and LeVere around the outside lane. They've cleared him, like you said, and taken over the lead. Heading off of turn number 4, you see Brundy's kind of closing in with a lot of help from the 27 car of J. Randall Watkins. And you have the Navy Nuke, Eric Arnold, Brian Harvey, 67, Bobby Terrell, Mark Bratcher. A lot of these guys are separated, not really pushing to get back to just about Rich Jett and Jimmy North, 9th and 10th position there, actually 12th and 13th now, and there you go, kind of going backwards a little bit, I believe, from where they started. But if you look back up front, it looks like Brundy's in the 27 moved up. That was Watkins, kind of looked to the outside, thought better of it. They're not close enough to the leader, and had to get back in line. And
like you mentioned, the cars are going to be hot, so you've got to choose a drafting partner, and you're going to go with them. Lots of switching. This is an 88-lap race at a 2.66-mile racetrack. So it feels like a marathon for these drivers, and it is. They are going, and it's going to be a long race. And right now we have 2 sets of 2 up front. Matt Lacrosse, CJ LeVere, and then Eric Brundy's and Randall Watkins. As they get a little bit of a run off turn 4, they're going to stick their nose out to the high side, and they're going to almost get even with the leaders as they come through the tri-oval. They might get the run. They're going to be side by side as they're going to head into turn number 1.
Here they go, switching. This means that they're hot. You see the 11's been all over the bumper of the 21, so he's had really no air to that car. which means he's really gotten hot. His temperatures have shot up, and he has a likely chance of, blowing an engine or something if he does not pull up or, get away from the 21. So what they did was they went to go switch, and the 94 got on the bump of the 21, pushed him until the 21 got down, separated those two, and now they're going to have to switch in just a few moments as the 27 is now hot of Jaron the Walker. You see him riding off the bump of the 94. Here comes Terrell and Bratcher.
And they're coming up on the high side as they're going to get the runoff, turn number 4, as we go to this large trial over here at Talladega. And once again, 88 lap race. You want to go, you want to get up to the front, you want to lead, but you got to be smart about it. You can't overheat your engine, and you can't go crazy with it. So there's going to be lots of strategy, shuffling, as you mentioned. Maybe not a lot of people got hooked up right at the beginning, maybe trying to drop back a bit, play it smart, try to find your partner. So a long race here as the number 11 of CJ Olvera now pulls back up to get back hooked up with his partner on the high side as they come down turn 4. But coming down the back stretch, it is Bobby Terrell being pushed, and they're entering turn 3 as the leaders.
Yeah, and how about Mark Bratcher up to the second position of the number 7 machine? That's actually where he finished the ETV the Series race the other week at Talladega Superspeedway. He's no stranger to running up front, and already up front here he is second in line. Here comes the 94-27. 94-27 have been that way since the start of the race. I mean, these guys have got to be high. You see 27 goes very outside. This was a battle for just the second position. As here comes the 32 to the very outside, 84 trying to follow. That didn't work. Rich Jett and Jimmy North, outside lane, they were looking for the spot for, I do believe, just about 5th position, 4th position. They were around that area as they shot to the very outside lane. Did not work. Had to jump back in line on the outside lane. You see now the 11-21 are hooked up, switched, and coming back towards these guys in a hurry.
And there is going to be lots of shuffling, as not many of the drivers are going to switch when the cars in front of them do, as you see the leaders switch now. So now the cars are going to go down on the bottom to pass them. So there's going to be lots of movement, back and forth, alternating. This is really a mind game almost at Talladega. Long race, you got to be smart. You can't even budge the inch there, because these cars are very sensitive, and it's the Impala B class of the nationwide cars. As the 27 gets a little bit loose on the bottom, they're going to go 3 wide on the exit of the corner. The 11 being pushed by the 21. They're making a charge for the lead as they go into turn number 1.
I'll tell you what, the J.D. Webb, the Cowboy himself, breaks at least 28 lead changes tonight. We could see that in the first half of the race. I don't know what he's talking about. You see the 11 and 21 back to the outside lane. They're gonna take over the lead up here, as looks like Brundage and Watkins on the inside still have not switched. And you see Bratcher now coming back to the 7 of Terrell in the very outside lane. He's going to fall back to at least about 7th position just on the outside lane. You see, 84 almost makes contact with Bratcher.
And CJ Laver is being pushed by the number 21 of Matt Lacrosse as they exit turn number 4. Behind them, 2 sets of 2 as they enter the tri-oval. They've been pretty much hooked up the entire race. Now a little bit back behind them in about, I'm going to say, the 8th position. We have a little bit of a 4-car pack growing, but they have just split off now into 2 pairs of 2. So lots of tandem. The 2-car tandem, like you mentioned earlier in the race, is going to be very prominent here as we are on lap 7.
I'll tell you what, when I go back and look at that points leader, he's currently sitting in the 20th position. The 24 car working the outside lane of now Rhett McBride of the 15. McBride scored 15th last time by, as I believe Marinac and his partner will take over that spot. Steve Almendo, 81 car. You might see them hot. They may have to switch here sooner. Maybe those guys didn't switch, and they kind of went past that outside lane in a hurry there, though. But anyway, points leader by 1 point, currently running just about 15th maybe now, as to where you have the second place in points by 1 point. Brundy's currently running 5th.
And then now Rich Jett being pushed by the 84 of Jimmy North, but here they come again. CJ Laver now has switched, and he's pushing Matt Lacrosse on the high side. And another side note to add, Jose Gonzalez did not start the race on the grid. I noticed just a minute ago. He is pushing with the number, I believe that is the number 12. They're 32 seconds back, so that could be a little bit of strategy. But back up front, 3 wide, 2 sets of 2 as they go down the backstretch. They're all chasing the leaders as they enter turn 3. 3 wide.
Now we're wanting to go through the tandems here. Who's working with who? As they're 3 wide, back into 3, I do believe. But yeah, they or double file out now. But I want to go through the tandems anyway. Who's working with who currently? If you look up front, I do want to say CJ Laver and Eric Brundage are currently. That's not CJ. CJ Laver and Matt Lacrosse. The next tandem is Mark Bratcher and then Bobby Terrell. They make up the 3rd and 4th position. You have Brundage and Watkins, General Watkins. Those two have not really switched a whole lot, which is, you know, a unique thing. 9 laps into this race. Then you have the 32 of Rich Jett, the 84 of Jimmy North working together. Outside lane back here, you have Campbell and Lanza, teammates, working together on the outside lane of the 47 of Eric Arnold, the 67 of Brian Harvey. These guys tandemed up, which is what you got to do. Clint Monahan and Bo McGuire, the next tandem. Then you have Stefan Marinac, the 81 of Steven Almendo, 15th and 16th position. They're trying to run down the leaders from 6 seconds back, 6.6 to be exact. John Abbott, or John Abbott, is currently Doug Roth and John Abbott working together. See them kind of off each other, not really pushing, which is what you've got to do in a place like Talladega, or else you'll lose that draft lead pack in a hurry. I think that's what's happened here, is they're just about 7 seconds back. You have Josh Chaney, Adam Roberts, Rhett McBride, and Larry King working together. And then you have I do believe Augusto Capaldoni and Frank Coons, and on the inside, I want to say Doug Fleming and Randall Halcomb. And then you have the Nathan Bowers machine by himself and a group of, another group of cars, and it doesn't stop. Everybody is tandemed here.
Exactly. It's very rare. I'm looking through the field. Almost no cars single. There's always a partner draft. And as you mentioned, that 6 seconds, well, the leader, CJ LeVere, has been being pushed by Matt Lacrosse for, I believe, 2 laps straight now. They haven't switched. They're probably going to switch sometime this lap. But they have opened up a 1.6-second lead on Mark Bratcher and Bobby Terrell, as they and Eric Brunnies and Randall Watkins come through by the start-finish line. That leads now 1.8 as they switch in turn number 1. So they've opened up a little bit of a cushion, but I don't think it's going to last too long unless they can keep on it. But looks like a little bit of strategy. They did get a really good run there, so smart play by the leaders.
That's Matt Lacrosse, CJ LeVere doing a good job. That'll make another lead change. How about that? As you see Bratcher and Terrell working behind them, you might see them switch into turn number 3. You do. So anytime they made up on the leaders, they just switched, because when you switch, you lose a lot of time. Whatever time they just made up on Lacrosse and LeVere for switching, they just lost because they just had to switch. And it depends on how fast these guys get together after a switch as to how they're going to run when it comes to making up times to these other guys as they come across the start-finish line. And we'll see how much time they gained or lost this time around. I do believe they actually gained just about 4 tenths there.
And the lead has been cut, so to speak, to 1.4 seconds over Bobby Terrell and Mark Bratcher. But as you mentioned, when you break off of the draft, you do lose a lot of time. And if you compare the leaders' laps when they were pushing to this past lap when they did switch, they lost about 3/4 of a second. And it doesn't seem like much, but if those people behind you are pushing, it is critical, especially as we get later on in the race.
That it is, as you see Terrell and Bratcher still trying to run down current race leaders, Lacrosse and LeVere going through here almost at a side-by-side battle. Rich Jett and Jimmy North now fall in line behind the 33 of Lanza and Campbell. Kind of going back to the field just a little bit. That was just about, I do want to say, just about 9th position, 8th position in that area.
And yes, as the leaders switch again up front now, Matt Lacrosse pulling in behind CJ LeVere, and behind them appears to be the same tandems as it's Bobby Terrell, Mark Bratcher, then it's Eric Brundies with Randall Watkins, and so on and so forth, as there's Glenn Campbell with David Lanza, Rich Jett, and Jimmy North in almost like a 4-car push there on the bottom side. So they are trying to chase down the leaders, and they have made up some time these last few laps. It's only a 1.2-second lead now. But Matt Lacrosse, CJ LeVere have the good strategy, but they are being caught now by the other cars.
I'll tell you what, when I go through a few more of the tandems I wasn't able to go through before, how about Wyatt Wolf Jr. and Wyatt Wolf, 27th to 28th position. Father-son combo, I do believe, working together there. Here they have a lot of company. 09, John Ellers, and he has a lot of help from Nathan Bowers, 85. They just slingshot almost basically around these 2 cars, both Wolf Motorsports cars, and I guess they know they're on TV because there they go on by those cars for 27th, 28th position there. You have behind them Stephen Herring and Joey Hilton. They were running just about 31st and 32nd. John Wilco running by himself. He's currently 33rd. When you look back at the 34th position, you do have Douglas White and Jose Gonzalez. He is 35th. The next car, the 36th place car, it would be Keith Brooks Jr., 1 lap down. Only 36 cars actually got here. I do believe we mentioned Ben Burnett on the grid. He is actually an admin here tonight. And I know we have another admin as well.
And an update, as you mentioned, at the back of the field, Jose Gonzalez is the last car on the lead lap. They're about 35 seconds back from the leaders. And even though they may be pushing, if all these lead cars now kind of stay in more of a pack, even if they're still with their partner, they stay with your 2-car drive, but they're in a larger pack, they will move a little bit faster. So 15-second difference between them and getting lapped. No immediate danger, but if we do see this continued green flag run, it could cause problems as they go 3 wide here, entering turn 3, battling for the lead.
I do want to mention, I do believe our other admin here tonight is actually Steve Ritter, I do believe, with Ben Burnett, but talking about that lead change, the battle for the lead, Eric Brundies and General Watkins were up front. Here they go to the back now as they actually switch maybe to the middle of the trio. Well, that's not the place you want to switch, but they're doing it. And there goes Bratcher and Terrell by on the inside lane, or trying to at least. Brundies going back in a hurry. He's not really getting any help from 27, and he's got to follow in line. The 4th car on the outside, maybe get some help from Eric Arnold, or not.
And as they come through, as you mentioned, that tri-oval, it's almost like a separate turn here at Talladega. Has more banking than some 1.5s. So it's a pretty steep incline. You don't want to give someone an awkward bump there, get them loose. So very strategic driving as CJ Lavere is being pushed still by Matt Lacrosse. And on the high side, we have a little bit of a charge with Matt Lanza and Glenn Campbell as they might get the run off of turn 4. And they do, and they're going to get a little bit of run on the leaders coming into the tri-oval, looking to lead a lap.
And they're looking, Lanza and Campbell outside lane, they're looking really... it is going to be Lanza at the start-finish line, I do believe. He will lead CJ Lavere by 7,000. Oh! Lavere just turned Lanza.
And the leaders wreck in turn 1. Not sure if that was a switch gone wrong. Looks like maybe CJ Lavere tried to switch with his partner as the other group was, and very unfortunate for the leaders. Leader forget who that was in the lead, but lead lap cars, leaders actually, so forget lead lap cars, but the leaders reckon not something you want to see. And as you mentioned, very strategic. You can't give someone that awkward bump, and a little bit of miscommunication maybe on the radios. Hand signals out the window maybe didn't line up, and unfortunate accident for the leaders.
It looks like, I don't know that the outside lane was switching. It looks like Lavere moves to the outside lane just to switch, and maybe didn't realize, I think he was trying to push them up the track. What he wanted to do was get them to the very outside lane, slow them down maybe a little, because that outside lane does not work very well at Talladega Superspeedway for some reason. And the 21 of Matt Lacrosse was going underneath. He was definitely going to switch. 11 car pushes up, and they don't budge. So he actually gets into the rear quarter panel of 33 before the 33 realizes what they're doing, and now it puts the 33 around. And it does look like Lacrosse will make just a little bit of contact with both those guys. Toe could be knocked out there, but it looks like they pretty much stayed out of trouble as the rest of the field came by.
And it was the number 33 that did get the worst of that you saw on the E-play there. Got maybe a little bit of a bump, got into the wall. He does have some pretty significant right side damage, we're looking, so we're going to see how that works out here as cars are going to come in for pit stops on caution.
Duly so. Now, pit window here is just about 40 laps. It always is at Talladega Superspeedway. Kind of differs between the cars. You might see trucks go, I want to say about 38. You might see these cars go about 40, and then the Gen 6 cars, which you can see Monday night with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, just about maybe 42 at the most, as well as tomorrow night also Super Speedway Cup, Friday night's short track or Super Speedway Racing at its finest. Don't miss it. SSSeries.com and etv-eplay.net. Check us out. But tell you what, we're not coming down pit road. Here comes Glenn Campbell. He's going to pull into his stall just immediately. I do believe he actually qualified in the 18th position, got to the front in a hurry, and he'll put tires on, which is not something you actually see commonly at a super speedway. 2 tires for him, and these guys will be away. This will extend their fuel window just about 20 laps from where it was before.
And as you did mention, we were looking on pit road. It looks like a bunch of cars took right side tires only, and Glenn Campbell will lead out of pit road as he led them into pit road. And as you mentioned, with about a 40-lap fuel window and an 88-lap race, you should be able to make it on 3 stops. So I'm thinking that was the logic behind most of the drivers is come in now. Your fuel will last to approximately around lap 60, and you should be good if you pit around that time window. So even fuel strategy here at Talladega, setting yourself up.
Alright, but anyway, well, we're just came off a pit road. Lap 19. We're looking 88. We're going to go ahead and step away. take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You're not going to miss a thing. We'll come back with Green Flag Racing with the, I do believe, RSR Asphalt Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spirit Designs. This is the Hippies Paint Shop 88 at Talladega Superspeedway.
listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
And we're back live at Talladega Superspeedway at the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spirit Designs. As I believe we are, I want to say, have one more pace lap at least as we work into 3 and 4. I want to take this time to talk to you about Inside Sim Racing, sponsoring the Thursday night Asphalt Series. Inside Sim Racing, your first and best choice for all news and reviews in online motorsports. Join Darren Ganji and Sean Cole for the latest and greatest in product reviews, simulation, auto racing, games for PCs, and the Xbox crowd. From steering wheels to full-size racing rigs, updates on popular racing games, and a whole lot more. The yellow pages of online auto racing. Inside Sim Racing has it all. Visit them at isrtv.com. And again, they are sponsoring this race here, the series. And this is the Hippies Paint Shop 88 at Talladega Superspeedway. And Evan, we're pacing. We have one more lap of pacing.
That's right, as the pace car still with the lights on as they're going to come through the tri-oval. We believe to 1 to go as the field's pretty much grouped up and they're going to double up this time by. And before the break, the unfortunate accident, which included the number 33 car of David Lanza. He's been going in and out of pit road. Comes in, and then as soon as the pace car's coming by, he's going to get out. So he's slowly trying to fix that race car. Not having much luck, as this is Talladega, so the aerodynamic damages on the right side of his car may hinder him, but he's hoping that maybe if he can keep getting in, he'll get it fixed, as we are doubling up in turn 1, so we're going to go green flag next time by.
As we work through turns 1 and 2, we're going to work onto the backstretch here just momentarily. Now, this is a long pace laps at Talladega Superspeedway. We saw in this last run that we kind of got split up with basically it was all tandems, which was different than what we saw at Daytona the season over. I think we saw a little bit more pack racing. It is all about the tandem. If you don't tandem, you lose to draft in a hurry. That's the one thing that we've noticed. That's the one thing that we knew coming into this race. The way they've changed the cars with the new build, which is hard to explain, but everything has changed, and it's really changed the way you got to drive these cars. It's not so much a pack, it's all about the tandems. I think we're seeing that here as we work just about into turn number 3.
And as you mentioned, this is Talladega, not Daytona. They're relatively compared to each other as they are both super speedways, and when you watch these cars pacing, the track looks so wide, but when these drivers are pushing each other at 193 miles an hour in the draft, it gets a lot smaller. So they're definitely two different beasts as the pace car and the field work their way in turn number 3. They're going to be hitting turn 4 for the green flag soon.
And I'll tell you what, it's actually, I think when you go to Daytona, what you'll hear from drivers, you know, when they're behind the wheel with another driver, it's really hard to see around other cars, or, you know, it's kind of hard to, you know, go 3 wide at a place like Daytona, even if the cars permit it. It's a tight space. It's a lot tighter than Talladega, and you got to have a really good spotter to do it. Talladega a little different. They have marked lanes. That's what you don't have in Daytona. It is a lot wider. I think actually drivers feel a little bit more comfortable with 3 wide here. But again, really fast speeds. Here we go. Pace car is off. Start finish line is down a ways after the triangle. Waiting on Glenn Campbell to take us to the green flag. Flagman has that flag ready, and here we go. Getting set. Campbell is away on the inside lane. Green flag drops. And here we go, green flag racing, lap 21, coming across the line for lap 22 of 88 at Talladega Superspeedway. You saw Campbell kind of move up just a little bit to the outside, then back down to the inside. He got a big jump there, but now he's going to be all alone with a group of tandems behind him.
In the 27 of Randall Watkins and John Abbott, have hooked up, and that was almost reminiscent to the start of the race, how the leader did get the good jump, but the 27, I believe it was him also. He lost his drafting partner, and the cars on the high side came by, and that's exactly what's happening as they go down the back straightaway right now.
Well, Glenn Campbell getting pushed by the 27 of General Watkins. This was for 3rd position. Glenn Campbell just shot to the outside. He went back to 4th, and there's John Abbott getting up to his bumper now. After Abbott had to give up the 27, he had to get off his bumper to let so the 27 didn't hit the 44 too hard. Here they come now back around the 27 for 3rd and 4th position. That'll be the 44 and the 10, outside lane.
And now up in the lead is a 0-0. Mark Bratcher, he's being pushed by the number 7 of Bobby Terrell. They are the leaders, have a 0.7 second cushion over the next tandem of the number 44 and the number 10, which is Glenn Campbell and John Abbott as they work down the backstretch. Just behind them, we have lots of cars shuffling, 2 wide, 2 tandems, so lots of people jockeying for position after this restart, and then we're going to start to get into the flow. Comes routine, and the drivers are just going to run the routine, play it smart, and work their way around and tick down the laps here as we are on lap 23 of 88, so we're going to be coming to lap 24, this time by the start-finish line.
You see a battle for the lead here. Here comes Campbell outside lane with Abbott. They were 3rd, and it looks like they'll be 3rd again across the start-finish line. Campbell 3rd and Abbott 4th. Terrell 2nd and Bratcher 1st.
And as they do come into the high line, almost stalls out a bit as they enter the corner. But they do have the advantage on the high line as they come down that middle groove, as you mentioned, with the dashed white lines, getting the run down the backstretch. But on the inside, 3 sets of tandem are going to stick it on the low line and almost grouping up a bit here. Still kind of in your partners, but a little bit more pack racing right now. Not sure if that's going to last or if this is still just jockeying for position, finding your partner, someone you're comfortable with. But as they do come by the start-finish line, the 44, Glenn Campbell, being pushed still by the number 10 of John Abbott, maybe making a move on the high side.
Really hard to pass on that outside lane, though. You see the Glenn Campbell machine, the 44, hanging in strong on that outside lane. There goes Abbott up to the outside lane. He must be hot. Roth looking to follow as the 24, Stephen Marinac, points leader, dives down. He'll stay with the inside lane.
And the 44 almost got stuck in the sucker hole there on the inside. 3 wide just behind him as everybody sorts it out. The 44 still stuck in the middle, looking to drop down to the bottom line. He's going to drop down now, but he did get left there as they were switching coming off turn 2. Got a little bit crazy there on the backstretch as he was a slow car. He lost the draft, lost a bunch of speed, and the tandems were passing him. But it is still Bobby Terrell in the lead, being pushed by Mark Bratcher, as they have switched. But here comes the 10 of John Abbott now, being pushed by the number 43 machine.
Yeah, there they go, outside lane. John Abbott leads the lap. 10 car to the lead. Doug Roth on his bumper. They almost look like they're going to clear the 7 going into turn number 1 and 2.
And as they do come through the turn, pairs, we have 4 pairs now, 2 by 2, almost in a grid formation. That high side, like you mentioned, it's hard to pass because you stall out so much on the high side. You almost got to go up a hill. So it takes a lot of dedication as they switch. And as they switch, here come another set of the number 1 car being pushed. Now they're going to slide back up to the high side as the 43 switching with the 10 on the high side. So When you're switching here, it can get pretty swirly as other cars aren't switching, they're pushing, they get about 3-5 miles an hour faster than you. So we've seen a lot of 3 wide, more than we did last time. So even though it's still early in the race, the drivers have a little bit more sense of urgency, as there, I believe, is 61 laps to go as they enter turn 2.
You know, that's one thing I've been seeing more of, especially, you know, this time around when we come to Talladega, compared to last season especially. Using the 2 outside lanes to switch, especially if you have cars underneath you. It wasn't as much of a big a deal before, but you're seeing that a lot more now, especially if you have training cars behind you. That can be dangerous. But, as Bratcher looks inside the 7, has to back out. Might lose a lot of time here as now Clint Monahan has to back off his bumper. Here comes the 44 of Campbell and Marinac to the lead.
And when they switch, they can't keep off each other's bumper. Once you got to switch, as soon as you're clear, you want to pull in line right, almost rub against your partner's bumper as you pull back in line, because seconds matter. You drop back, you lose the time, and it takes you a little bit while to get hooked up. You got to slowly ease up to their bumper and get hooked up. As everybody's separated up front switching, but things can get pretty gnarly there. As they're switching, you want to be as close to the bumper as possible, but you don't want to make a mistake. So very calculated as they are 2 wide for the lead, 2 cars pushing, entering turn number 3.
And here they come, outside lane. Bratcher, Terrell, outside lane, they're hanging in strong. And here comes Monahan and I do believe the 47 Eric Arnold looking on the inside as well, trying to follow in line. How about Abbott still hanging back there with Doug Roth? They're sitting 5th and 6th, I do believe, if not 6th and 7th. Rich Jet, Jimmy North back there, they're kind of hanging in there as well. Josh Chaney, Brian Harvey running out of the 10th and 11th place positions, I do believe. They're kind of still hanging in there, actually 11th and 12th. Eric Brundys, he's currently running 13th. He's second in points, 1 point behind the point leader. Point leader currently runs in the race lead, so Brundys has to go. He was in the front earlier. He's got to get back up there now. That can be a challenge as he actually is back with his partner, the 27th of J. Randall Watkins. Douglas Wyatt, 15th, and Jose Gonzalez, 16th. He's actually, remember, he started from pit road, and he's up to 16th running again.
And that caution really did help him, but I think the car's in a very comfortable situation right now. Is 11th and 12th place, the 65 of Josh Chaney and the 67 of Brian Harvey, as they now go to the outside of the 32 car of Rich Jet. But they're just kind of hanging back. They're still with this lead group, so they haven't lost the majority of the draft, but they're not up front where we've seen the 3 wide, so a very comfortable position. And the 84 and the 32 are dropping back there, maybe a switch that didn't go too smoothly, as they are now going to drop off of this lead draft. Maybe they're dropping back on purpose, but that could have been not getting to each other's bumper in time. As the leaders pushing out of turn number 2, will remain pretty much the same 2 tandems of 2 as we work our way down the back straightaway.
I'll tell you what, I was going through the rest of the field trying to recap, and I do believe Jose Gonzalez and his partner Douglas Wyatt just got passed down by the 88 of Adam Roberts and the 50 of Bo McGuire. Those 2 working together at just about 15th position. And here I'm hearing 24 on the apron. That's Marinac. What happened to Marinac? Because he's going back in a hurry. I'm going back to look at this, and it looks like he was getting pushed by the 44. He gets down and gets the apron just a little bit, knocks the car sideways, has to check up and keep it on the apron. Big scatter of cars behind him. Does a good job to keep it down there, though, and definitely could have lost the draft there. Good job of not losing the draft there. See now tries to sneak up to the bumper of the 44.
And it is Eric Arnold pushing down the back straightaway in the 2nd position. And we did hear him over the radio apologizing, so not sure if, again, not making that switch correctly or if he was a cause of the number 24 getting on the apron. Not too positive about that. As the lap car now of the number 33, who was involved in that incident, is going to go way up high to yield to the leaders, as he is going to lose a lap.
Yeah, he's all by himself, and he's only running 173. I think you see at least, almost say maybe 175. You might see up to 180, but I don't know. I couldn't confirm that, running by himself. You see 186 for John Loco, but he actually is drafting off of somebody. He's 35th. Steve Herring, he's a single car, but he has drafted a little bit in front of him. He's running 187, so I think might be all right where he's at running speed-wise, but I think he needs help. He might be able to run competitive lap times if he had somebody pushing him.
As we go down the backstretch, Doug Roth being pushed on the high side, running 195 miles an hour into turn number 3. He is being pushed by the 10 of John Abbott, but on the inside, trying to hang on to position is Clint Monahan with the 47 of Eric Arnold, but the high side is going to get the run off the corner here the leaders get a little bit disconnected, and here comes Doug Roth to the lead, being pushed by that 10.
How about the 10 and the 43 combination? They'll lead, I do believe, again. And this time it'll be Roth and then Abbott rather than Roth, Monahan, then Abbott. Here comes Abbott as they switched. Roth stayed on the outside lane. Abbott went down to the inside. That let Abbott sneak back up for the 43. 47 and 1 have got to be hot in the inside there. And here they come. A lot of company behind on the outside lane. I believe it was Josh Chaney, 65. Brian Harvey, 67. They were 9th, I believe, 9th and 8th last time by. 9th and 7th last time by, but now they're outside of the race leaders, as we're going to go 3 wide for the race lead as the 47 and 1 just switched. This could actually go advantage to the 1 and the 47. When you go 3 wide, the middle is the place to be. You'll see the inside lane, outside lane generally will not be able to beat this middle lane, and that's where the 47 and 1 are. Here they go, kind of running away.
And 3 wide through the whole front stretch. It's finally going to be the 1 and the 47 prevailing as they enter into turn number 1. Back in turn number 4, the 43 of Doug Roth all over his partner's bumper as we're on lap 34, excuse me. And it's a little bit of a 2-car breakaway between Eric Arnold and Clinton Monahan up front. Behind them, about 10 other cars and a little bit of a pack. I'm sure they'll catch them soon here, as we've seen a little bit more pack racing almost. Still tandem, but they're a little bit more grouped together. And here comes the number 10 of John Abbott. He is being pushed by Doug Roth. As they approach the leaders, they're going to go to the high side, and they're going to take a look at it with lots of speed, hitting the front stretch.
Oh, I'll tell you what you saw there when they were 3 wide. There's a parachute effect, that's what we're going to call it, where the inside lane and the outside lane, they slow down. I mean, it's kind of like an automatic thing, like a parachute, just sort of at the back window. That's all we call it, the parachute effect. Middle lane just takes off. That's why they took over the lead, as you see them separating up front there. Roth looks like he wants to switch with Abbott, but he can't yet. He's not clear. But they are looking like they might clear the leaders coming out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway here. And that's what they do. They do clear the leaders. Heading to turn number 3, I think you'll see them switch here.
And they do clear the leaders down the back stretch to 43. Still behind the 10 for now. As they enter the corner, there they go for the switch. But the 47 and the 1 are right there. So the 10 going on the high side loses a little bit of speed. The 43 is going to come up right in front of him. Well executed. But the 47 and the 1 now, Eric Arnold and Clinton Monahan, are going to come by on the bottom. And they're joined by the 67 and the 65 as they look to the inside. Ooh, close to that close to that yellow line. They thought better of it. And they might have the lead. It's the 67 coming by the line.
Well, I'll tell you what, running through your top 10. Eric Arnold led last time by, and this is Haslake crossed the line last time. Clint Monahan 2nd. Brian Harvey currently running 3rd, or was. Doug Roth 4th. Josh Chaney 5th. John Abbott 6th. Stephen Marinac 7th. Glenn Campbell 8th. Rich Jett 9th. Jimmy North 10th, as we've gotten pretty crazy up front. We'll go ahead and step away, though, take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more green flag racing action here from Talladega Super Speedway. The Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spirit of Science. This is the Hippies Paint Shop 88.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths. Put it half a second over to Wayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in 2nd. You know, we got 1 car on the bottom, the 10 cars.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
We're back live at Talladega Super Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spear Designs. How about Derek Spear Designs sponsoring in part with Inside Sim Racing TV of the RSR Asphalt-Assault Series on Thursday nights? Derek Spear Designs manufactures top-shelf simulation racing components such as pedals, shifters, button boxes, and more, reasonably priced. This is the kind of gear a championship sim race driver needs. Bulletproof and boot stomping strong. See his gear at DerekSpearDesign.com. As I do believe we're still green flag racing. 3 wide actually for the lead. Doug Roth was on the outside. He must have just switched with John Abbott. And I was as I was reading the paper. And then there's I do believe the 65 of Josh Cheney on the outside with the help from Brian Harvey, and then you have Clint Monahan and Eric Arnold on the inside.
And up front it is a 2-car tandem between the number 1 of Clint Monahan being pushed by Eric Arnold, and then the 65 of Josh Cheney being pushed. And Eric Arnold did come over the radio. He said his temperature is good, so obviously the strategy of switching every 2 or 4 laps about that is working good. He said the engine's nice and cool. We're just running around here, and we're at lap 40, so we're 4 laps away from the halfway mark. We've only had 1 caution, so very good racing by the drivers, nice and clean. As they enter turn number 3, as the leaders are going to switch, almost coming down in front of the number 1 car, I believe, and they're going to get back hooked up on the high side as they come off turn 4.
Tell you what, though, the 47, what you generally will see is them switch every lap, every 2 laps, maybe every little lap. That's the fastest way to get around this play. Oh, 47 gets sideways, almost gets up to the outside. But the 47 had an electrical problem last time around the backstretch. That let the 67 and the 65 get by on the outside lane. So you got to watch that 47. His gauges could be lying to him right now with the way he just had the electrical problem on the backstretch.
And you almost jinxed them there. You mentioned a driver, and then they almost messed up. He got real loose there as he was pushing the 1 car as they went through that tri-oval. Managed to keep her under control, and he stayed on that bumper. So great driving as they do fall back now to the number 67 and 65 for the lead of Josh Cheney and Brian Harvey, respectively. But that was a nice driving there by the 47, and still hanging out on the high side, the 10 and the 43 of John Abbott and Doug Roth. They're staying committed to that high line. Not sure if they're going to drop down, but they're just cruising around on the high side as they're side-by-side with the 1 in the 47 as we cross the straight.
And I did mention Derek Spear Designs when we came back from the commercial break. There's a Derek Spear Designs button box up for grabs for the season champion. So, I mean, the guy that wins the championship, he's the guy that's going to walk away with a nice button box provided by Derek Spear Designs. I do believe Inside Sim Racing is in on that as well. Also giving away a few prizes. You know, we're about, I want to say about 10 weeks in. I'm going to say that, but don't quote me on that. To this I want to say about 36 race championship. And again, I'm really bad at where we are schedule-wise. But Talladega, either way, we have race 10 is what I'm being told by John Wessling. And you know, not many races, or there are quite a few races left, but we have a 1-point differential between current points leader and second in points. And that could change as we walk away from Talladega Super Speedway. But you know, at the end of the season, the winner's walking away with the Derek Spear Designs button box either way.
And how cool is that? Very generous of them to be offering that. And as you mentioned, this is race 10 of a 36-week schedule, and they will hit Talladega and Daytona 1 more time this season. So they're not going to get away from these wild card races, as they're called, at these super speedways. And it's getting really busy up front here. Seems most of the cars on the track are within about 1 second or 2 seconds, of the leader. So they're getting really bunched up here as they enter turn 3, and they're going to come at it turn 4 with the number 1 car of Clint Monahan in the lead, being pushed by Eric Arnold.
And I'll tell you what, here comes the 32. That's Rich Jett to the outside of the leaders. 84, Jimmy North pushing him. Behind them, though, CJ LeVere, the 11, the 81 of Steve Almendo. Then you have Josh Cheney and Brian Harvey. How about Adam Roberts back there? He's on the inside racing the 65, who was 7th last time across the line. And he has a lot of help from Bo McGuire. This car's on the inside lane. Then you have, how about Jose Gonzalez? Where did he come from? Almost a lap down earlier, if you remember that. He's got a lot of help from the guy he's been working with since the start of the race, Douglas White. You have the 7 of Terrell and the 00 of Bratcher, who actually led a little while earlier, kind of riding around the back here. Marinac back to 15th. He's the points leader. He's all by himself. His lonesome, and he just got passed by 2nd place in points, as that group is actually caught the leaders. They were 4 seconds back, now 1.3 and that is actually when Jared Watkins and Stephen Marinak or Eric Runney's working together that have ran down those leaders now, as they see Stephen Marinak now getting help from Glenn Campbell, the 44, who scored 18th last time by 2.233 seconds behind the leader.
And Eric Arnold and Clint Monahan, who were leading at a turn, or in the turn number 3, sorry, they went to switch, and right before the number 1 car could get back down, we had a 2-car tandem, maybe even 4 cars. The draft caught them, sucked them in, and they couldn't make that switch immediately, and they have dropped, so to speak. They're back to about 6th position now, dropping back to 8th. So that was a bad break for them, as they're now also being passed by the 88 and the 50, as they still haven't exactly gotten hooked up, still trying to recover from that little bit of a bobble. Nothing on their part, just the way the race works with this many race cars going this fast. Some things you just can't control.
Well, there's not a whole lot you control with these cars to go at 197, like Stephen Marinak says currently. You know, really what they're doing here at a place like Talladega Superspeedway is putting blind faith in the lead car, and the push car is just following, hoping he doesn't get involved in anything. That's what Talladega is all about. You see up front, looks like the 65, Josh Taney, and the 67, Ryan Harvey, down the inside. Here comes the 11, Oliveira, and Amendo to the outside. Leaders switch. Here goes Rich Jett to the inside, and Jimmy North outside. He now pulls down behind 32. They protect the inside lane. Here comes Cheney and Harvey to the outside. They're going to now try to challenge for the race lead.
And yes, as you mentioned, when you're right up against somebody's bumper, there's not much that you can see or do. You're following them, and with these wings are a little bit taller than say the Gen 6 race cars. So almost driving blind, you're just trying to look out your left rear window net, watch that yellow line or the dashed white line, and keep it on their bumper nice and smooth. Lots of trust involved in this restrictor plate track racing.
You know, there is absolutely, I mean, when you say that you can't really see much, there is not a thing you can see through these cars unless you peek around around the corner maybe. And I mean, what you're doing is you're looking at a back bumper. That's all you see. Is you hope the guy in front of you you're working with is like a teammate, and they've painted that car good so that you have something to stare at for however long you're going to be pushing them throughout tonight. Because I mean, that's all you see. There is no looking in front of you. You might look in the mirror. You've got to know what's going behind you, because the push car, I mean, he's in charge of making sure that the lead car knows where the runs are, and who's coming with a run, and where they need to be, where they can't be, whether they clear or not. The lead car, though, he's in charge of making sure that the push car knows what's going on in front, because I'm telling you, that push car is not going to be able to see a thing. All he sees is the back bumper. That's why I like the 67's back bumper. You see the little design on that. I do believe eyes on the back of that car, and that's definitely where the 65's eyes are at, on those eyes.
And an interesting development, the number 10 of John Abbott and the number 43 of Doug Roth. They're the last cars on the lead lap. They're just in front of our leaders here, so they have lost a significant amount of time as they are looking to go a lap down as the 32 being pushed as they enter the trial. So they're about to drop a lap down. Not sure what happened there. As you saw, the 84 there took a peek out, like you mentioned. They can't see much. Took a peek out, see what's up, and they're going to put them a lap down on the high side.
Yeah, I'm going to see what happened here, and I see them going separated. Oh, what happened? I don't know. I'm looking at this lap 43. You look at position 11, Doug Roth, outside lane off of turn number 4. Just all of a sudden shoots down, and I thought something was wrong there at first. And he's alright, he just goes down pit road, so does Abbott. Okay, they're alright, they just come down making the green flag stops. Lap 43, you can go about 40 laps, maybe 41 if these guys are thinking that. So those guys pitted, that's what that was all about, green flag stops, so we have a lot more people pitting than I do here. Maybe the race leaders pitted?
And as you mentioned, 40 laps of fuel in it, we're on lap 50. There's 88, so that's 38, so there's your strategy. They're thinking maybe they can make it. That's their last one, as green flag pit stops now starting to cycle through, almost a rare occasion at Talladega. But as more cars do come down the pit, it's going to shuffle the field a lot. Once everybody cycles through, assuming we don't have a caution, it's probably going to spread out the field a bit. You're going to want to pit with your partner, so you're going to want to get lots of communication. Do you take tires or not? You might throw 2 right sides on it, or maybe even lefts, because you put right sides on as they came down on the first caution. So lots of shuffling. You needs to be lots of communication at this critical moment in the race, because you can make it or break it on pit road.
Hey, who just broke it? Oliveira. him and Almendo both. Those two came into pit road together, 29th, 30th last time across the start-finish line. Look at the gap they have between the two. That's not teamwork. You see Almendo has happened to drag the brake, come back to him. He kind of had to wait there. What you have to do is when you watch, these guys take no tires during pit stops or something. They come off pit road, they can be sideways. I mean, they have the tires pretty heated up. It's not rare, especially in these cars coming off pit road. As caution flies, they kind of got saved by that. They could have been lapped any time, but they're looking for the caution now. And I think I found it. It does look like in the 24 car points leader. 8th position, lap 51, working the backstretch. He's outside of the 47. He moves up. 47 just gets him in the wrong place. Actually, 47 gets underneath him. Tries to slide back up behind him to push him and ends up putting the 24 around. 24 takes extensive damage. Second week in a row, I believe the 24 will take damage. 94 might be all right. And last time this happened, the 94 capitalized, finished second after leading the most laps. 94 could walk away the points leader as long as he's careful here. As Marinac falls to 13th. He's still kind of following down the board here as he's not crossed the finish line yet. As now Brunies goes around him, Watkins, Terrell, and he's just not coming across our finish line. 16th this time by if he's not told to go around any of these cars.
And he does have significant damage to that race car, aero-wise, which is so important at these restrictor track racetracks. And it didn't look like anyone made a mistake. Maybe he just accidentally got hooked around there on the back straightaway. And as we did mention, as they come through the pit stops, maybe some people might have got shuffled. And as you mentioned, CJ Lavere and them maybe got saved by that because they weren't on cue as they came out of pit road, had to slow down. So they were in risk of going a lap down. So if that caution came out maybe 10 laps, 5 laps later, when maybe half the field had pitted, half the field has not pitted, it would have shuffled people around a lot more. So lucky break for them.
I'll tell you who that's not a lucky break for. But you gotta feel for Marinac. Points leader by 1 point coming into the race. He just took even more damage. Damage can affect you in a place like this. Aero-wise, you knock out the toe just a little bit, you're already used to how the wheel is at any place. When you practice, you're used to how the wheel is, how much you have to turn in the corners. You get used to that as a driver. What you're going to see here is if the toe's even knocked out just a little bit, he's going to be all kinds of unhappy with this car as he now comes into his stall. Probably won't take tires. They're going to go straight to work on that car. He does take tires, but they'll probably go straight to work on that car. You might see him in pits a little bit longer. I mean, he did take a few hard hits there, so have to keep our eye on the 24 as he tries to work back to the field probably later on in the event. Frank Coons staying up currently will be the race leader. Steve Almendo, CJ Lavere, second, third across the line. They just pitted. Jose Gonzalez, fourth. He might have just come off pit road. Eric Arnold, fifth. As we just cross the start-finish line, we'll go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more racing action from Talladega Superspeedway with the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spear Designs. This is the Hippies Paint Shop 88 at Talladega Superspeedway.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over to Wayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it in the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, we got one car on the bottom of the 10 car.
And we are back at Talladega Superspeedway with the Real Sim Racing Asphalt-Talladega Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Interior Experience Designs. And I'll tell you what, go ahead and talk to you really quickly about the VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat, a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? After all, he knows what it means to be comfortable in the cockpit. The design features a fully adjustable seat and frame, additional monitor stand, and shifter mount sold separately. Proud sponsor of the 2013 RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, a high-quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping. See it at BobEarlRacing.com. Order once a day. Eventually I'll be able to talk, right?
And like you mentioned, it's great to have all these sponsors on supporting such a great game here. And a great race that we've seen so far. We're on lap 54, 88 laps total, which is about 234 miles I calculated. So pretty long race here as we're still pacing. We're going to see if the lights come off this time by, but it's going to be Eric Arnold in the lead. And one thing to note on pit road before he went to the break, the 84 car of Jimmy North, he sits 7th. He may have lost a position or two. He came to pit road and slightly slid through his pit stall, had to back it up, and only took about half a second. He did put 4 tires on it. So just a side note, I don't know how much that affected him, but I did notice he's now up to 6th as they do double up, so we're going to be going green next time by.
Now, I do apologize for missing or not being able to talk very well. I'm rather sick, but we're all right here as we get double foul here. You know, there was one thing I was looking at, and I was a little puzzled by it, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't seeing things. If you look at 31st edition 11 car, he was making highlights. He was running really well. He came into pit road with the 81. I was talking about how they kind of messed up on pit road, which is no big deal because the caution flew. But he's in a purple, pink, whatever you want to call it, Hello Kitty car. How about that?
Well, you mentioned the person pushing you, they're all going to see is your back bumper, so maybe he was joking around with his friends, wanted to give his friends, trying to distract them during the race, have a little fun with it. But yeah, bright car on the racetrack, hard to miss that.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to look in your mirror often when you're the lead car. 81, if he looks in his mirror, all he sees is a mirror full of Hello Kitty, so he might want to just keep his eyes up front.
The intimidation factor, as they are doubled up entering turn 3, the pace car will pull off this time by. It's going to be Eric Arnold leading the field to green. Brian Harvey on his high side, and the number 67 will make up the front row as we enter turn 4.
So we get set here again. Do want to remind you, I do believe the finish line, that's the word I was looking for, a little ways past the triangle. It's just after pit road exit, which makes it very convenient for green flag stops or even pit stops, because we see the running order just as soon as they cross the start finish line, and they don't have to go around again to do that. But here we go, getting set for the green flag. Pace cars dives off onto pit road, and Eric Arnold leads us to the triangle. Where will he jump away, or will he get help here? The two partners, the 67 of Harvey and the 65 of Cheney, are lined up inside and outside of each other, kind of. As the green flag flies, 88 got in the back of the 65 there for just a second on the restart, but they're all right. 67, he's on the outside all alone. He has no help. He's not really going anywhere. You see the 65, check it out. He's on the brakes a little bit. He's dragging the brake. You can tell because the 88 just got kind of flung around the 65's bumper when he got on the brakes. That was kind of easy to spot there, as you see the 67 now trying to follow up on the 47, 65, 67. Partners go high. Adam Roberts to the very outside. We're going to be 4 wide for a moment here as we back out 3 wide for just a second. Now we're 2 wide for the race lead.
And as they enter turn number 3, lots of shuffling down the back straightaway. And as you mentioned, the leader's not having much luck here on the restarts. The person behind him in P3 not being able to get to his bumper. So they waited there. That was a long wait for the green flag there, so maybe he was trying to help him out a bit, but it didn't work for the leaders as we're shuffling out a bit.
Well, the Hello Kitty car just made some highlights. And it starts actually with the 62, though. He's the big story here. 26th position left, 56 in the backstretch. I don't know what happens. He has some help from the 81. Like, he goes up to push the 14 of Jose Gonzalez and just ends up getting turned by the 81 of Steve Almendo. Comes down and clips the 11 car. That was LeVere, the Hello Kitty car. And I think there's one more car also involved in this. You see LeVere entered in turn number 3. He actually lost quite a bit of time out of that, but I believe the other car involved, if I see this right, was the 28 maybe? Just a little bit, or not even, no, I don't think it was the 28. Clint Monahan, the 1 car, that's who it was.
And kudos to the RSR officials for not throwing the caution. That was at the back of the pack. The car spun down on the very wide back apron, so we were able to stay green. So good call by them thinking race-wise. But back up front is the 67 Brian Harvey being pushed by the 65 of Josh Cheney as the 32 and the 84 switch. And the leaders are going to switch too, so everyone's switching up front. They're going to switch as they come down the back straightaway. And everyone's switching. They're all over the place. And there's a wreck in the back. Not sure if the caution's going to come out. No caution as they enter turn 3.
I'll tell you what, there's one guy that really wishes the caution would have flown. That was Clint Monahan, the 1 car. He's all by himself now, as you see. I'm looking back here, though. I know the 2 car was just in the wall. I believe he was the incident. Or I was hearing a 2 car. I don't see a 2 car. Huh. But I was looking at the points leader was going backwards. He was by himself again, so kind of in trouble.
And a 33 of David Lanza, who was involved in that the first caution incident. He was trying to get that car fixed. He dropped to about 12 laps down. He has finally retired that car to the garage. He currently sits 19 laps down. So a tough night out, and that's how these restrictor track racetracks will bite you. You can see a first-time winner.
And I'll tell you what, I was going back here to figure out what happened, and I finally I was able to see the note that JD Webb passed to me. John Abbott, 10 car. And I went back to lap 58. You see him come off of turn number 2. You see the 43 kind of moves up to go high of the 89. 10 car tries to follow, clips the apron, or clips the bumper wrong, comes down, collects the 09 hard, and then nails the inside wall. So does the 09. The 10 car gets a little bit of airtime, though. That'll cost them. And now the caution flies, but not for any of them. And I'm looking to see what the caution would be. I do believe somebody might be off track up here.
And it has been crazy since we went green the last time by. We've had 2 incidents, and finally we have one that does warrant the caution. So they're going to slow them down here, lap 60, 28 laps to go. But did, as you mentioned, the number 10 car of John Abbott, who has been up front all day, was involved in that accident. The 09 of John Ellis, who he did collect, is on pit road trying to service his race car.
And that's not the cause of the caution, though. Cause of the caution, 89 car, Randall Halcomb, 21st position, lap 59, going to the front stretch. He's just, I'm not sure what happens here. He comes down, the 48, man, shoots up the track, clips the 89. 89 gets the outside wall hard, and he'll go spinning, gets the outside wall again, tries to keep it locked up and out of the way in his LSU car there. He'll drive away. That was Randall Halcomb, though, getting in trouble there. You see the leaders, or all kinds of cars actually going by him there.
And it is our 3rd caution of the night. Lap 61 as we come down the back stretch as the leaders are catching up to the pace car who's waiting for them in turn 3. And as you mentioned on the replay, maybe a little bit of miscommunication, went for the switch. Maybe the car got real tight entering that tri-oval. But an unfortunate wreck, and it does slow them down for a caution. And everybody that did need to pit for fuel, they pitted on our last caution when there was about 27 laps to go. So with that, not many cars are going to come down pit road. Unless the leader does, maybe then everybody decides to. So the leaders maybe be at bay here almost, because if he pits, says, well, we might as well put some tires on or top it off to make sure, and all the cars behind him stay out, that could hurt him. So it'll be interesting to see, but I don't know what's going to happen on pit road. Maybe not much, but looks like they're staying out.
Yeah, and I believe they're good on fuel. That's the thing you got to look at. We have, just about 20 laps to go. We pitted with less than 40 to go. That's when the caution came out. I think everybody came down then, and they might even took tires when they came down. It's highly likely. But these guys should be good on fuel. You shouldn't see many cars on pit road unless they get damaged or something in the process.
And the number 65 car of Josh Cheney comes down pit road. He puts right sides on it. He's going to stay in for left. So lots of cars near the rear end of the lead lap, so not up front. They're going to come in, put some more tires on it. But yes, as you mentioned, everyone should be good on fuel here. They pretty much played the strategy good as we're still coasting on pace. But we did see quite a couple cars come by near the back. They're sitting, maybe getting some repairs if they scrape the wall, getting a toe fixed, anything like that. But none of the top 10 or so cars pitted, so they're going to stay out. We do have about 27 laps to go.
And on that note, I do believe it's time to step away, take a commercial break, and I believe it might be the last one until the post-race show. I think we'll talk to the winner of the race. Go to commercial. We'll come back and we'll talk to the second and third place finishers here tonight. But that's quite a ways later. That's about I want to say 27 laps later, just about. But anyway, we'll go ahead, step away, take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Alright, sorry there, we had our producer walk away for just a moment, but anyway, Talladega Super Speedway, we might actually end up with one more commercial, but it's okay. But anyway, Rich Jett currently leading under pace laps here. I'm going to go ahead and try to talk to one of the drivers under the pace laps here, and who better to talk to than... How about we got the second guy in points? The guy second place in points who's looking for a good run. He was running well earlier. I think he might have fallen back just a little bit, but we'll figure out where he's running just the moment we get him set up on the radio here. And that'd be Eric Brundis. We do have him on the radio. Eric Brundis is Dakota Herman and Evan Pastoko up in the broadcast booth. You get a copy, man. We might have him. We'll try again. Eric Brundis, Dakota Herman up at the broadcast booth, joined by Evan Pastoko. You have a copy?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
There he is, Evan, man. You're running fourth, and your competition of the points is having a bad day. He got a bit of damage earlier. Currently running 29th. That would give you a pretty good points lead if it were to end this way.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time left, and a really good chance we're going to get wrecked too. So just got to keep a clean nose and hopefully we can come home with the top 10 here.
And what was the strategy earlier? We noticed when you and the 27 started working together earlier, immediately earlier in the race, you guys were kind of not pushing. I mean, you were riding at your bumper. I mean, he would push you, but you wouldn't really switch. I mean, what was up with that?
Well, I asked him if he wanted to switch, and he said he'd rather push, so he just kind of got air to cool the car and then just kept pushing, so.
I know you two got together. You actually ended up running down the race lead, or the lead pack. Is he the guy you'd rather be with right now? I mean, you're running fourth. Who is the guy you're going to go with if you can't get to him?
No, yeah, I mean, if he's there, also, I've been, the seven car and I have been kind of talking, so we might hook up here if we get a chance.
How about this? He's right behind you currently.
Yeah, I mean, it'll work good hopefully here on the restart, but I don't know, anything's possible with these restarts and get crazy and people get shuffled back, so we'll just kind of see here.
Alright, Eric, well, your double file getting set for the green flag. Good luck, man.
Thanks.
And that was your second place in points. He's actually looking to take over the points lead if he can have a pretty good day, which is highly possible here, as he's actually got a team radio set up with Bobby Terrell. I can see Jason Patterson, Matt Long also on that team channel, so I believe a spotter. Maybe even another driver out there, not sure, but anyway, we're double file. It's Rich Jett, Jimmy North leading the field, Bo McGuire, and then you have Eric Brundy's Adam Roberts, and then the 27 of, I do want to say, J. Randall Watkins, rounding out the top 6.
And as Eric did mention, he's just hoping for a top 10, and he now does have that cushion, as the car that he was 1 point back is currently running back in the 27th position, still with some pretty significant damage. And also the leader, the number 32, Rich Jett, has maybe a little bit, very slight right rear quarter panel damage. Shouldn't affect him too much, but just something to keep note of. But we're going green this time by. Pace car is going to pull out of turn 4. He's going to be making that sharp turn down the pit road, and we're going to let these guys go.
I'll tell you what, we work now down the front stretch off of turn number 4. Pace car about to dive. Honorary pace car driver J.D. Webb going to make that hard left turn, and it'll be Rich Jett leading us to the green flag. As there goes J.D. Webb down pit road, and Rich Jett now works through the trio. Well, it's up to him when he wants to go. It looks like him and the 84 had this timed out, but the 84 took off, 32 didn't. That signaled the 50 to go. 50 went, and then the 32 went. So these two kind of gave it up to the rest of the field rather than getting a big jump out of this.
They just seem to can't nail those restarts, and it's very hard. You don't want to tell the rest of the drivers, hey, we're going to do this, and on your team chatter, you got to try to give them a signal, and it didn't work out too well there. One person that did enjoy that was the 84 of Jimmy North. He did not get stuck on that high side. He was able to pull right in behind Rich Jett, right even before they crossed the start-finish line going green, so that worked out for him as we're about single file, about 8 cars back.
I'll tell you what, 50, 94, Aaron Brundy's and Bo McGuire hooked up second and third, but they're not, or third and fourth actually, yeah, I was right. The first time, they're not really going anywhere. It's the 94 just now getting them up for the 50. He's in a little sideways there. Then you have Roberts and the Navy Nuke, the 47, Eric Arnold, right in line, and I do believe 5th and 6th position. How about Jaron Watkins by himself? Not for long, here comes the 7 of Bobby Terrell, who was actually talking about getting with Eric Brundy's if we can. These two are now being worked on by the outside lane. That is the 92 car of Larry King and the 15 of Rhett McBride.
And the 27 dropping back to the number 7 car of Bobby Terrell. As you mentioned, maybe trying to get hooked up, and they are now. They're pushing down the back stretch. Back up front, though, in the lead, still single file. We still have the 2-car tandems, 2 sets, the 32 and the 84, and then the 50 and the 94. So a little bit more calm in comparison to what we saw last time, where we were in a big pack for about the 20 laps going 3 wide. A little more settled here as we're going to come to take lap 67, which will be 21 laps to go.
And not many laps left, 22 actually, as we cross the start-finish line. And that caution flies. Caution for the 40 car going into turn number 1, 40-48. I'm hearing 48 of Kuntz and Joey Hilton in the 40 car, 26th position, or actually it was 18th position. And he was 18th. It looks like he's about 26th when this incident occurs. He's passed by a lot of cars. I mean, they're like 3 wide coming across the tri-oval here. Lap 66 coming across the line for lap 67. 48 moves down, 40 moves up. Cars going for the same real estate at the same time, just wasn't there. 48 gets the rolling of the deal. I think the 40 car took quite a hit there, but both those cars will definitely have damage now and be well in the back.
And one car, I believe this will, and they've just confirmed it, the number 24, the points leader, Stefan Marinac. First car 1 lap down. In fact, he's the only car 1 lap down. Next person back is the 32nd position, Randall Holcomb, and Doug Fleming. They're 6 laps down. So he's going to get the wave around to come back onto the lead lap. Still has damage from his incident, so he may not be able to do much with it, but that does help him out significantly if there's an accident, because every point's count now if he is indeed chasing Eric Brundy's, who was only 1 point behind him coming into the night, and he's currently running 4th.
Well, it's hard to tell whether the 24 is going to be on pace or not. He came out off pit road. He had lost a lap coming out on pit road, off of pit road late, and then he was running by himself. He was kind of saved by that caution, I think, honestly. But we'll have to see as we work under caution lap 68 of 88. With just about 21 laps remaining. It'll be 20 at the start-finish line at Talladega Super 2 with the Real Sim Racing Asphalt-Asphalt Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing and Derek Spear Designs, the Hippies Paint Shop 88.
And as we are coming through the trial, we have some cars looking to pit road. They're going to think better of it. And as you mentioned, he is slow, still trying to fix that race car. So it will be interesting to see how that happens. But right now, still Rich Jet in the lead after that short green flag run. We have 20 laps officially left in this race. So if we stay green, we're going to see some pretty good racing. Not that it hasn't been good to this point, but they've been playing it safe. And once these guys go for it, it's going to be great here for us at the finish.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. We're working lap 69, and now 20 laps remaining. Go ahead and step away. Take that one last commercial break before we take you to the end of the race. We'll take you all the way to lap 88, 89. When they cross start finish line for 89, the checkered flag is out, and we have a race winner. We won't have another commercial till then. But until then, I'm going to step away, take this last commercial break. We'll be right back.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50-caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
And we're back live at Talladega Super Speedway. I do believe we're still under caution here, getting set for the green flag. And to quickly talk to you first off about iLeagueRace.com, a one-stop shop for iRacing leagues looking for total website and points management, custom scoring protocols, complete scheduling and management of series and events, even a blog setup to recap your race. iLeague Race also provides driver and team signups with integration of APIs such as scoring tickers and points updates. If you have an iRacing league, you need iLeague Race. iLeagueRace.com, and actually RSR, Real Sim Racing uses IETV, the series. Plenty of leagues use that. Just check them out if you actually want an example. RealSimRacing.com, which is the series you're watching here tonight. They use iLeagueRace.com. Really cool deal. Do check it out, though.
And it is great stuff as they are running this league and this race that we get to watch tonight. So it's great stuff that they have going on there, and all the sponsors that do help everybody out here. It's a great community. We get to see some great racing, and you guys at home get to see some great broadcasts here. So it's a good stuff as we are still pacing. Pace car lights still on, so we have at least one more lap to go before we go green again.
I'll tell you what, I was looking for a certain driver, and I found him. 19th position, if we can get the cameras on this guy. Mark Bratcher through the ETV Live Studios car, that 00 there. When you look at that 00, you think Mark Bratcher, you got to think something, and that's something that's got to be Thursday, or actually I believe it is Wednesday nights currently, and that's because of the Hammer Radio Show, The Hammer with Mark Bratcher and Greg McKinney, Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. on the ETV Live Radio, underground and over-the-top door slamming, bumper banging, wicked ass loose, and 3 wide. Join Mark and Greg for a sideways wall banging, no holds barred radio show about racing every which way but loose. The Hammer, Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. on ETV Live Radio, powered by the HD Radio Network.
And not sure if you were talking about the radio show or our race tonight, because we've seen all that tonight, but it is a great show, and we have the pace car lights off, so we will be going green this time by Rich Jett and Jimmy North making up the first row here as we go through turns 1 and 2. We have, I believe, 19 or so laps to go here at Talladega. We've run 70 so far, an hour and 22 minutes of some good hard racing, and we're coming down to the finish here soon.
That we are, and I do believe you might be correct here just about. I'm looking at this, and I would say yeah, we'll just go with you're correct. I don't feel like counting. As pace car lights are off, Rich Jett leads on the inside lane. You'll have Jimmy North on the outside. Bo McGuire, third place car, inside row. And then you have Eric Brundy's back there. Adam Roberts, 5th position. Eric Arnold, 6th. J. Randall Watkins will be 7th, with Bobby Terrell 8th. Larry King 9th, with Rhett McBride going to be scored 10th. Jose Gonzalez 11th, Douglas Wyatt 12th. Keith Brooks Jr. 13th, Nathan Bowers 14th. Matt Lacrosse 15th, with Brian Harvey 16th. Doug Ross 17th, with Clint Monahan 18th. Mark Bratcher 19th, and Wyatt Wolf Jr. Is 20th, followed by Wyatt Wolf Sr., who's 21st. Wolf Wintersports there. But here we go, getting set for the green flag. We work off of turn number 4. The pace car will pull off and go down pit road, and we'll get the green flag just down the tri-oval.
31 cars on the lead lap here as we are coming to get the green flag. The drivers have to be thinking on the start, you want to get hooked up right away, and I haven't seen it yet tonight where the leader, he's always losing that 3rd place car. So I'm interested to see how that works off as the pace car dives down pit road.
And I'll tell you what, it's not about the 3rd place car right now. For these two, Rich Jett and Jimmy North are working together. They don't care about the 3rd place car. It's the inside and the outside lane cars trying to get hooked up as soon as they can. Here comes McGuire and Roberts to the inside. They might already be hooked up before those two on the outside can get to each other. And that might give us up if the 84 can't get down. If the 88 can get to the bumper and make sure the 50 gets underneath the 84, which is what he did. So here comes Bo McGuire now underneath. These guys will take the lead over. That's what they're going to do. There they go. McGuire, Roberts inside, Rich Jett, and Jimmy North outside. Eric Brundy sitting in 5th position. He's all by his lonesome, trying to hang in there as well.
And exactly as you mentioned, Rich Jett went to the high side to try to hook up with the 84, and the 84 didn't get right to him, and then they came fast on the bottom was the 50 and the 88 of Bo McGuire and Adam Roberts respectfully. And the 84 was so close to being able to pull down, but they were just there, which caused them to drop back. But they're hooked up now and making a charge back for the lead. Pushing, they're going to look to the high side on the exit of the tri-oval, and they're going to get a little bit of a run. They're going to stall out a little bit in turn 1, but they're side by side at the moment.
And here they go. Jett to the outside, North on his bumper. They're going up there for the lead if they can. They want to get that back since they had it on the restart. So work lap 73 of 88. Looking back here, 3rd position, Brundy says help from the guy he started the race working with, of J. Randall Watkins. Here comes Terrell looking the inside of Arnold. Arnold not going to give it to him. He has to get off the throttle. He'll lose a little bit of time. Jose Gonzalez, Douglas Wyatt, we're almost a lap down at the start of the race. Look at them, 9th and I do believe 10th last time across the start finish line. They're now working off a turn number 4, I want to say. It is number 4. And down the front straight away. And Jose Gonzalez is going to be up in front running for the race lead before long. And remember, he started from pit road. He was almost a lap down. The caution saved him, and he's been going. I mean, he's honest. He's set sail, and he's coming to the front, that 14 car.
And that's a great turnaround for him. And up front, Rich Jett and them and company at the front of the pack. They are still pushing in the 3rd position. He's being pushed by the number 32. Or he is the number 32, sorry. He's pushing as they're trying to catch the leaders. And once they did hook up, they did get lots of speed, and they got right up to those lead cars, but they had to switch. And now the leaders are switching. They're going to look to the middle, contact. 32 sideways, going to hold on to it, slides up in front of traffic.
I tell you what, we kept going. Jose Gonzalez ended up neck, Cody. He's on the inside wall. Caution flew before that. Big wreck. That was huge. I mean, if you look at this, it starts up here with this big mess up front where they try to split the middle with the leader switching. And I mean, if you look back, it ends with Adam Roberts coming up the track. He gets to the 14. That was a big mess. I don't even think that's what the caution came out though for. I think the caution actually came out for Brundage was involved in that too. I think he actually called that on the interview earlier. But I think the caution was actually the 00, Mark Bratcher's 16th position. They might have wrecked at the same time, maybe when they were checking up or something. Bratcher gets to the bumper of the 1. This is lap 74, position 16 off of turn number 4, maybe? Yeah, off 4. Bratcher ends up getting turned around after that incident, and he'll stop on the track. Basically, I think it was a mix of that and the other cars that were on the track wrecked that would lead to that caution actually flying. Big wreck, though, that would bring out the caution here on lap 75 of 88.
And all they saw was that 32 car wheeling it half on the racetrack, half on the apron. He couldn't keep it down, and he slid up right in front of that pack of cars, and when they all checked up, they were pushing on the exit of a corner. So if you don't instinctively check up at the same time, someone's going to get spun, and he did get turned around. Another car got flipped on his roof. But back up front, the incident, I believe it was caused the leaders were switching. Miscommunication, they tried to split the gap, came up, contact. So that's our 4th caution of the day, I do believe so. Lap 75 of 88, so we're going to group them up again and try it again. We may have about 10 or so laps to go by the time we get green flag racing again at Talladega.
I'll tell you what, I think Brundage, he got pushed on the outside wall, second in points. We were talking about him trying to have a good points day, beat Marinac. He's trying to, get that 1 point deficit and, make it bigger. Only an opposite. He wants to be the points leader. He was involved in an incident. He was put in the outside wall. Came across the line 13th on lap 75. Currently on pit road. He got the outside wall pretty good, but he didn't hit anything else. Actually spun it through the grass, avoided going through pit road. He did a good job, but now he's going to have to take a little bit of time, maybe a lot of time to get this thing fixed. Toe could be knocked out. Meanwhile, his opponent, the guy he's racing for in the points, currently scored 19th. That's a bit of a gap now, so he's going to be back there as probably rear of the field, near 29th, actually 26th. That's not the points he wants to lose. That's not the points the 24 wanted to lose either. But now he's going to be gaining points, so 24 might be actually a happy man out of this.
And it's been about an hour and a half since we went green for the first time here. 12 laps to go as we're pacing here on the back straightaway. And it should be a good last couple laps. On the radio, there's lots of drivers maybe disagreeing, and then you got your partner who you're loving right now who's been working real good with you. So it should be setting up to see a real good finish. If we can keep it green and not finish under caution, we should be in for a treat here. It is the 84 of Jimmy North in the lead. He was 7th 2 cautions ago, so he's worked his way up to the lead, and he will be on the front row with Bo McGuire once they double up and the pace car lights look like they may be coming off this next time by, which will make it 1 to green.
And I'll tell you what, I'm a little intrigued about how this will end here with the battle up here. But how about we talk to there's one guy I want to talk to right now, and that will be the driver of the 84, Jimmy North. I don't think we talk to him often, and right now he's really making his name come out quite a bit. And we have Rich Jett on the radio, but Rich Jett, driver of the number 32 machine, who was, I do believe, involved in that incident, I want to say, currently scored 27th on lap 76. He's kind of a ways back. I think he had to have damage fixed, but he's on the radio. Rich Jett, you got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
And what happened there?
I believe the 84 was going for the hole in the middle between the 2 guys in front of us that were switching, and was following them. And by the time I realized the 88 was coming up to the 84, kind of didn't have any time to react and spun there. I mean, I got a tiny bit of damage. I don't know who's in the back here. I'll try to work with and hopefully get back up front.
I mean, when we talk about being 27th out of about 29, maybe about 29 that are on the lead lap, does that kind of worry you about where you're at? In the back, are you concerned about getting back up front? Is that where you want to finish? Or I mean, with just about a little over 10 laps to go, do you think you even have the time to get there?
If there's another caution, there's no way in the world you can ever get back up there. But I don't want to finish in the back. I'd love to finish in the front, but I know everyone else is going to be doing the same thing, trying to go hard. Might be maybe 2 restarts here. The first one here will be a big wreck. Second one, we'll see what happens with everyone else, how patient they are.
And when you say that there might be a few big wrecks, can you take a guess at how many cautions? I mean, I know there's only so many that can be had, but take a guess at how many cautions there could be.
I think there can only be 2, hopefully. Hopefully there's none, but if there's one, and it sets up a very sure restart, there'll definitely be another one.
Alright, well, thank you, Rich, and we'll let you get back to your racing here real fast. Any shout-outs you want to throw out there?
My stroke race teammates, Jimmy North, Doug Roth, Steve Herring, John Abbott, working with Jimmy all night. Worked with John last night at the truck race. Shout out to them guys, and hopefully Jimmy's still up front. Hopefully he has a good finish. Hopefully he wins it.
All right, thank you. We'll let you get back to your racing here. Good luck coming back to the field.
All right, thank you.
All right, there was Rich Jett, and I tell you what, we also want to try to talk to Jimmy North, because Jimmy North was running as well as he was. I have a feeling that he's one of the guys that you got to watch for at the end of the race, and he's joined us on the radio. Jimmy North, 84 currently the race leader, as I believe are 1 degree as we get double foul here. We'll make this quick. Jimmy, can you win the race here?
Well, I'm pretty sure I can. I don't know, I just lost my drafting partner, Rich Jett, but now it's just a game plan of trying to stay out in front of these guys, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot tougher because I don't have any drafting partners back there. Maybe Douglas Wyatt, possibly, or Adam Roberts. I'm not sure if he got a penalty or not. So we're going to have to try and team up with somebody here and keep the 84 Lowe's Chevrolet out front here and try and win this thing.
So I think your spotter wasn't running up and down the spotter stand trying to already make you a deal here?
Well, I haven't heard anything from anybody yet, so we'll just have to play it by ear and see what happens.
All right. Well, I know we're coming to the backstretch, so I don't want to keep you up here too long. Any strategy here besides trying to stay out front? I mean, is there anybody that if they get close to you, you're obviously going to jump on their bumper?
Well, I'm going to go with Douglas Wyatt. I know that we've worked together in the past here, and I think that we can get something going and possibly win this thing, or vice versa. Just someone to team up with, stay out front, and get a good finish. We've had a rough couple of weeks, actually. It's been a rough couple of months here on the Thursday night series, so let's say we're getting ready to take the green here. I appreciate the interview, and hopefully I'll be up in the interview booth when we finish this thing out.
Hopefully, Jimmy. It's good luck here, and he's away. As we get set for the green flag, working through the tri-oval. Or not the tri-oval, not quite yet. We're off of 4. Pace car is getting set to dive off. He's kind of close to that pace car. You just see it cut right across his nose there. And there goes honorary pace car driver J.D. Webb down pit road. Jimmy North will control the restart. You might see him wait a little bit. He has to make sure somebody's on his bumper on a restart. He can't get too good of a jump. He does it, but he has no one on his bumper currently. You see the 2750 side-by-side for the second position. As you see, the J.R. Watkins machine on the inside is kind of creeping up on the 84 pretty quickly here with no help on his bumper. I think the 2784 might be hooked up here. That might be the partner the 84 was looking for. I don't know this committed one, but definitely has a partner there. As a 12 and 47 have just gotten up to just about the fourth and fifth positions, and they were hooked up for quite a while. That was the 12 of Douglas Wyatt, the 47 of Eric Arnold, and how about Bo McGuire's in this training cars up here as well?
They were single file off of turn 2 pretty far back. Now looking to the inside, he's going to check up, thought better of it. I believe that was the number 12 car. But down the backstretch as they came off 2, we were pretty much single file, about 15 or so cars back. And then once we hit turn 3, people got sorted out. They found their drafting partners, and that was not the case off 4. 3 wide almost back there. But up in the front, Jimmy North did hook up with that number 27 of Randall Watkins, and they are running away And one car stuck without a drafting partner is the number 50 car. He's stuck on the bottom as a 2-car tandem's coming flying up behind him.
Yeah, you gotta feel for Bud McGuire. He does not have a partner up here, and he's looking for anybody that'll go with him, and there's just nobody near him that is all alone like he is. There's a group of tandems behind him. Just nobody is alone besides, I mean, you have to go back to Wyatt Wolf Jr., who was 16th position, and Doug Roth, 19th. Those are the next cars that are all by themselves. Just a big group behind him, though. He might have company. Here comes the 15 to his bumper, and he's not going to leave him alone. He's going to push him. It does look like so 50 might have found a little bit of company as they race pretty good back there. Oh, wreck! Caution is out.
And right before that caution came out, the 27 car who was pushing the leader also was a bit squirrely in the trial. Well, not sure if he was just peeking out the car was hot or what, but he was all over swerving on the 84's bumper. But the caution does come out with 7 or 8 laps to go, so it will be a dash to the finish at Talladega.
And I'll tell you what, wreck happens. You look at the 48 of Frank Coons, 22nd position, lap 80 off of turn number 4, coming down to just about the driveway, the 3 wide, 62, I think that is. John Wilco comes up into the 44. Glenn Cable shoots down, basically turned those two down into Frank Coons. Big incident, big wreck. Quite a few cars, or just about 3 will be involved. But I mean, that's quite a few when you talk about Talladega Super Speedway. That just took away 3 possible drafting partners for anybody on the racetrack. But you know, Stefan Marinac not minding. He's up to 17th again, the points leader. Eric Brundy's 24th. He's second in points with damage. You know, also points leader has damage as well. Now we work lap 81 of 88. That means 8 laps remaining here.
And then you touched on it there. Eric Brundy's, who was involved in the caution just before this one, that really shuffled around the points position. We talked to him earlier when the leader had almost crashed out and essentially has damage. He was hanging out at the back. And now that Eric Brundy's gets thrown back into there, he's running in the 24th position. Well, that changes things up too. So lots of shuffling there points-wise, and we are only 10 races in out of a 36-race season, so there's still much time to get that made up as Jose Gonzalez gets the wave around as we're pacing here on lap 82.
Jose Gonzalez, I think I was bragging on him for, you know, starting from the pits. He was trying to miss I think he was trying to miss the wrecks. He was going to be the wave around. He actually came down pit road. Is not going to have the wave around yet. He might be allowed to get it when he comes back out. But 14, I was bragging on him for missing a wreck, and he's back on pit road after you know he started from pit road, but back on pit road. Unfortunately, a lap down. Man, just bad day for the 14 team. They had a solid run going, running up front until that incident occurred with the 48 shooting 3 wide up the middle. I do believe that would end up in the large wreck that it did. But or that was the 84, not the 48. But Jimmy North currently leading the way. Jay Miller walking second. Larry King third. Bobby Terrell fourth. Douglas White fifth. Eric Arnold sixth. Bud McGuire seventh. Red McBride eighth. Keith Brooks Jr. ninth. And Clint Monahan currently running in the 10th position. That was your top 10 rundown.
And when we spoke to Eric Brundy's, he did mention that he just was looking for a top 10 finish, and that's why these restrictor track racetracks, they're known as the wild card races because anything can happen. And as we saw, not on this caution in particular, but I want to touch on the one that happened before that, which did shuffle the positions quite a lot. There were 2 incidents. There was the initial contact, and then when everyone's so close together and they're pushing, the checkup also caused 2 more cars to spin. So even if it's nothing of your doing, anything can happen. So it's really a survival of the fittest here, and you need to have lady luck on your side as we're going to come by pacing. Pace lights might come off this time by, not too sure, as we're pacing on the front stretch.
And I'll tell you what, we will see whether we go back green flag racing this time or next, or even the lap after that. I hope not. And it does look like the 14 is up next to the race leader. It does look like he's looking for the wave around. Maybe might get it. I mean, he was given it, but he went down pit road. Now, I avoided the wave around, so it's up to race officials to give it to him again if they choose to do so. We watched the pace car. There they go. They do give it to him. So Jose Gonzalez, lucky dog. Pace car lights are still on, so we're still pacing. One more lap of pacing here, at least. We'll actually have 2 as we'll get double file. Maybe next time. which will make things interesting. But who should we talk to during the next lap or two of pacing here?
Well, I can tell you what, regardless if we're going to turn the lights off, it's going to be an exciting finish. And it looked like at the beginning of this race we did have long green flag runs. It looked like it might have finished there. We actually get to see green flag pit stops. They were starting as a caution came out. But it's going to be real close here at the end. They've already driven 83 laps around this place. But they're wide awake now because it's like a whole new ball game. 5 to go as they're pacing down the back straightaway. We're looking for when the lights will come off to go green, and they are jumping in their pants. They're getting ready. They want to go greasing here. They're going to race it out for the victory. And Jimmy North wants that push from the 27 like he did the first time. Try to get out in front and then settle it between them.
I'll tell you what, I think we just had a mix-up. We have 2 drivers on the radio at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and get to one of them at a time here. First off, Matt Lacrosse running 14th. He was the biggest surprise to me after starting second. He was running really well, but he kind of fell back here as of lately. Lacrosse, man, what happened to you in your running order?
Well, I was running with CJ, my teammate, and I got hooked on his bumper, and it kind of left me without a partner there for a while. And slowly fighting my way back. We got a big group here of all Fearless Racing, all here grouped together, so we're going to try to push her to the front.
Yeah, and man, you don't have many laps left. I mean, can you get back up there? I mean, you started second. You obviously showed speed in 21 machine. Can you, I mean, run up to the front in the few amount of laps you have?
I have no idea, but we're sure as hell going to try.
That's one way to put it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
It's Matt Lacrosse from Fearless Racing, currently running just outside the top 10, I do believe. And now also joining us up on the radio will be Bo Bruni, also known as Bo McGuire, currently sitting, I do believe, in the 7th position 50 car. He was all by his lonesome until the 15 of Rhett McBride got to his bumper. He had no help whatsoever, but he's been strong running up front most of the night. Bo, man, how you doing?
Oh, I was doing a lot better until my partner there, the 88 car, he got caught up in that wreck, I think 2 cautions ago, so he had to go to the back, and yeah, it kind of left me lonely. I was trying to get to the 84's bumper there on the start, but that didn't work out, and you know, everybody's kind of got their guys up front here, so I'm just gonna, whoever's bumper I can get to, I'm gonna try to get to it and push them all the way to the front, and hopefully I'd like to win it, but I'll take a top 5, hopefully second.
All right, man, and I know that you kind of like, I don't know, you got a lot of help from the 15. Is he one of your buddies, and is he the guy you might look to go with here?
Well, he's definitely right there with us, so, you know, there's definitely, I know he pulled up behind me, so hopefully maybe there's something there. You know, he's going to be starting to our outside here on this restart. I think that's going to put the 71 car behind us, so, you know, it's kind of every man for himself and who can get paired up with who, and you know, there are no friends in the last and with this many laps left. It's, you know, you go where you got to go and try to get the win.
I know you more of a dirt racer. You kind of came from the roots of dirt and sim racing over there, and now you're over here. And this is probably one of the second times with this series you've been on a super speedway. Not to mention any other series you race for, maybe. But I mean, how different is this from the dirt to you? I mean, did the dirt give you any kind of advantage at a track like this, where it's just so unique?
I don't think it gives me any advantage per se. I think the only advantage I may have is that with the dirt racing is a sprint. You have to go forward all the time. This type of racing, you generally, you know, got to use a lot of patience and use your head and use some strategy, you know, to get to the front. But, you know, like I said, you know, we're going to have 5 laps to go or 6 laps to go, something like that. You know, that's a sprint. That's right up my alley. So you got to take every inch that you can get and even try to take a couple inches that you don't have and, you know, try to muscle your way up there.
I know we saw the outside lane give plenty of room as of lately. This time, are you going to be pinching hard for every bit of side draft you can get?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's down to the wire. There are no friends anymore. You know, obviously you want to get hooked up with somebody to try to go to the front, but, you know, it's going to be whoever can get hooked up with whoever, you know, regardless of what their relationship is. And, yeah, I'm going to, I'm going to try to get it, either if I can't get on somebody's bumper or somebody's not on my bumper, I'm going to squeeze them as tight as I can to get every ounce of speed I can and hopefully get up, like I said, hopefully get up to the front.
All right, Bowman, good luck here in the last few laps.
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you guys with the broadcast and everything. It's really cool. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. That was running, also known as Bo McGuire, 50 car, running, I do believe, 7th position as we work into the backstretch. Just about into turn number 3 as we pace here, getting set. Once we take the green flag, if the caution flag flies, and we are green flag racing, and this is not to say if the caution flies before we go green flag racing, because if these guys wreck in a tri-oval, the green flag's not out, we will be delayed, we will probably go back green flag racing in one lap. If we get the green and the caution flies, this race is over. There's not enough laps to pace, or to continue pacing here with just 4 laps remaining. It'll be 3 to go at the start-finish line. Here we go! This is a shootout.
And after we take the green flag, pretty much at this point, the next flag probably will end the race. An extensive cleanup, maybe some oil on the racetrack. But we're getting ready, a 3-lap dash, assuming we stay green. Here we go.
Here we go. As you said, pace car is off. And Jimmy North will lead us to the green flag. He's away on the inside lane. No help at all. Leaves a few cars back behind him in the dust. 92 has no help. He moves up just a little bit. But 7 and 27 are hooked up. That's Gerald Watkins and 7 of Bobby Terrell. 27 jumps down the inside lane. He's coming to the bumper of the 84. Never mind. I'm moving up. I'm moving down. He doesn't know where to go. He's going to stay on the bumper of the 84. 7 has no help on the outside yet. So 27 and 84 hooked up. 7 will lose a little bit of time here.
And like we mentioned in that interview on the radio there, you don't have any friends anymore. Once that green flag runs, you don't have teammates anymore. They're just buds on the racetrack. And as you saw, the 7 got left there. Now the 47 is going to push him. So the 2 cars on the high side, we have 4 cars on the low side. In the front, 47 pushing that number 7 of Bobby Terrell, who did get left. But it's the 84 of Jimmy North, J. Randall Watkins in the 27, and the 92 of Larry King, on the bottom. They're pushing. 27 gets loose onto the apron. He's going to save it and pull in line as they take 2 to go.
And 2 laps remaining here at Talladega Superspeedway. 84 on the inside. 27 is sliding all over. 27 slides up, nearly gets to the 7 and the 47. 47 and 7 strong on the outside. Clint Monahan up the middle. 3 wide. Big wreck. Caution. Race is over.
And the 84, Jimmy North, who was the leader, he goes flipping down the backstretch in front of cars. Big crash, the big one, and it hits as they were going to come to the white flag. Cars all over the racetrack. It's turned into a scrapyard. And heartbreak for the number 84 machine. Looks like the one car tried to go 3 wide. It didn't work. Leaders weren't expecting that. Closed the gap. And everyone else had nowhere to go as they just piled up on the backstretch, and nobody was lifting trying to make it through it. So the race is going to end under caution.
I mean, they were wrecking after the caution had flown. That's a unique thing that you don't want to have happen, because that can cost you more spots. I'll tell you what, Bobby Terrell will win at Talladega Superspeedway. He's going to go around one more time under the pace laps, but he was up front when the caution flew.
And that's the discussion. The caution flew, and they kept wrecking. So race control may be trying to, may have to go over the video. We're showing right now the number 7, Bobby Terrell. Looks like he will get the win. This is, of course, unofficial, as that was a crazy finish there. You see, it was the one car that tried to go 3 wide. So lots of discussion going on here about what happened where. So they were wrecking for quite a while there. So the finish did not fail to present some wow factors there. So well-ran race.
Definitely. Here's we're trying to find Bobby Terrell, and he's actually getting prepped to be moved up into the radio, or up into we got him on the radio, I do believe now. Bobby Terrell on the radio here. 7 car coming across the line for the final time behind the pace car. He will be the official race winner at Talladega Superspeedway with the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing, Derek Spear Designs. Again, this is the Hippies Paint Shop 88. But Bobby Terrell, you did it. You're coming across the line for the final time. Checker flags are out, and you have won.
Wow, that's all I can say, man. That was, it's a shocker.
Man,
got lucky.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were running really well for quite a while, but the last little bit, it's like, where did he come from? Outside lane, big wreck, and you're out front.
Yeah, I mean, Eric pushed me. I have to thank him for pushing me, or I wouldn't have got there. And I don't know if he got collected in it or not, but if it hadn't been for him, I wouldn't have been there.
And I do believe Eric Arnold, I believe that's who you're talking about, finished, was supposed to be third, or was shown across the line third. Yeah, third. So Arnold being all right, I guess. But man, how has this helped? I mean, you just won the most wild card race, the biggest wild card race of the season, out of nowhere, out of the wild card.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm shocked. I mean, when you come to a place like this, it's just a crapshoot anyway. I mean, I stayed in the top 10, top 15 all night, and I just got myself in a good position there after that caution. One of those caution flew, and I didn't think I was going to have anybody to work with me at all, and they kind of hung me out a few times. But like I said, Eric pushed me to the line.
And man, I mean, is there any shout-outs you'd like to throw out there?
Inside Sim Racing, Real Sim, ETV, you guys up in the booth, y'all do an outstanding job. Also for the race control, those guys, we couldn't do it without them. And that's it, guys. Thanks.
And man, when you head into next week, I do want to say is Darlington. I mean, you have the win, you have the momentum at a wild card track. Does that help you going into a place like Darlington?
Yeah, I mean, I like Darlington a lot. I like the short track, so I mean, I got to qualify well, but I like that track a lot.
All right, thank you, Bobby, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
And there was Bobby Terrell, your winner here tonight at Talladega Super 2. We're going to go ahead and go down now with Evan Basoko to Eric Arnold, our third place finisher.
And we're here with Eric Arnold. Eric, in practice, you were the 30th fastest. You managed to put it 5th in qualifying, and a great night for you guys. You managed to get a top 3 out of it. Explain the race strategy going in, as it was a long 88-lap race.
Well, my whole plan was just to run in the top 10 the whole night and keep myself out of trouble. Had a very well race. I was hoping to push Bobby right in the lead there and keep it green. I think I could have won it. I would have been able to get around him because we would have just pulled away if we just had enough time to clear him.
You guys did have that run coming off turn 2. And explain that last restart and that incident. What did you see from behind the steering wheel?
Well, going, I believe it was turn 1, exiting turn 2. I was trying to get down more because I saw a car coming. It looked like he was going to try to split it 3 wide. I'm like, hell no, you're not getting below me. And whatever happened, he got into me and spun me around. I was able to keep it going so I could maintain position. But I was so excited. I was like, I got a chance to win this, and I got wrecked.
Well, at these wild card racetracks, nothing to complain about at a 3rd place finish. Who would you like to thank?
Thank all our sponsors, Inside Racing, you guys. All our sponsors, the admins here, and just been putting on the shows. Good race.
And that's Eric Arnold, driver of number 47. He's going to take home a 3rd place finish at Talladega.
And I'll tell you what, now we have our 2nd place finisher. Saved him for last because this was the Hippies Paint Shop 88. We called it at Talladega Super Speedway. And I'll tell you what, Hippie Doug from Hippies Paint Shop finished 2nd.
Yeah, it was pretty good race. I have to say thanks to Jose because, man, I wouldn't even had a chance if I hadn't worked with Jose Gonzalez all race. It was a good time. Crazy race at the end there.
Definitely, Doug. And, man, I just got to say kind of the one thing I look at and I'm thinking, where did he come from? And that is exactly what I'm saying. Where did he come from? I want to say that I don't know if it was you that started from pits at least. Well, I know you was working with Jose Gonzalez earlier. You two got together. You stayed in the lead lap. You guys came out of nowhere. Unfortunately, one of you was caught up in a wreck. I mean, might have been both of you, but you might have got the better end of it. But I mean, you came back and finished 2nd. I mean, describe your race and how you were able to finish 2nd.
Well, yeah, Jose, he's in a different league with a different number, and he came in with the wrong number, so he had to get a penalty for it. So I started from pits to my benefit, he says. I started from pit lane and just pushed him as much as I could and worked my way through, and then he got destroyed, and then you know, I had to find people from there, and it just was luck. It was a lot of luck, but yeah, it was a great race.
And man, how did you manage to sneak through all that carnage at the end of the race?
I closed my eyes. I had them closed from turn 2 all the way down the backstretch.
I don't disagree with that tactic, but 190 miles an hour was how breathtaking can that be?
Well, when I opened them, there were cars going, I think, over top of me, so it was pretty exciting.
All right, man, and finally, I'm going to go ahead and give you a chance to throw out any shout-outs you might have.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammates first and foremost, and they're always there to help me, and there's quite a few of them, and I'd like to thank the RSR and of course the Hibby's Paint Shop, man. Go there and check out my work. It's there's so much to see.
All right, thank you, Doug. Douglas Y. Hippie Doug from Hippie's Paint Shop. Check him out. But tell you what, Evan Pasoko, man, what a race here at Talladega Superspeedway.
We saw everything tonight. We had a long green flag run at the start. We saw some green flag pit stops, lots of strategy, people dropping to the back on the start, avoiding the wrecks, and we did see the big one. Unfortunately, it came coming or to what would have been the white flag if they hit the front stretch. So great racing that we did see tonight, and good race, and lots shuffling around in the points also, as we did mention, as Eric Brundy's, he did gain lots of points on the points leader, then he got in a wreck, so it will be interesting to see how that works out as we're nearing about a third of the way through this 36 race season.
And I'll tell you what, I'm hearing a lot, I'm getting a lot of messages sent to me that I don't even think the scoring is official yet, because I think they might be looping it, so things could change here, before next week. It's going to be very interesting. We'll come back next week and we'll find out exactly what the finishing results were, live in the pre-race show, live exactly 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and again we'll be from Darlington Speedway. But until then, I'm Dakota Herman, again joined by Evan Pasoko, John Westling, J.D. Webb. We'll catch you next week.